Welcome learners, welcome to today's session. Today we are going to discuss about the postgraduate diploma in social work counseling program. So we will be discussing in detail about the program and the fieldwork component. Now let us know about the program. The postgraduate diploma in social work counseling program. This program helps the learners in the academic learning as well as in their professional education and training them in counseling. And this program is mainly tailored to suit the counselors who are working with organization and community, and also those who are working with individuals. And when we say counseling as a course or as a program, this is taught by very few universities in India. That is why from IGNOU, as a specialization program, MSW Counselling has been launched, the postgraduate diploma in social work counseling, as a part of the second year in the specialization. So this program has been launched in the year 2018 in order to train more counselors who can work in the various healthcare settings, health setting, and various other settings. So this program would be really helpful to our learners. Now, when we say postgraduate diploma in social work program, this program will be helpful to train the counselors who can handle the stress of employees who are working with the call centers, corporate sectors, families, family courts, correctional settings, schools, universities, educational institutions, rehabilitation centers, refugee camps, and various institutions for the differently abled and for the aged. And also they can work in childcare and adoption centers, foster care centers, family planning centers, voluntary counseling and testing centers, and also in some rural sectors where we have witnessed in India the farmers who have driven to commit suicide. So all these places need the help of counselors. They can also work in the de-addiction centers and so on. So definitely the postgraduate diploma in social work counseling program would enrich the functionaries who are working in NGOs and the other welfare agencies, as well as those who are working with human resource and management. This program, when we see what are the salient features of the program, any graduate, they can take admission for this program, and the student, they can study at their own pace and convenience over a period of 1 year. That is, minimum period is 1 year and the maximum period is 3 years. The student, he can study at his or her own pace, and they are required to attend regular classes in the study centers. So there are academic counselors and fieldwork supervisors are there. So they will be facilitating for their fieldwork, and for theory classes, the classes are held in the study centers. So the student can go in the weekend to the study centers and they can have a discussion with their academic counselors so that they can be clear with their theory courses. And when we say our SLM, that is self-learning materials, these are indigenously prepared self-learning materials. These are provided to our students. And the print materials, these are supported with audio and video programs. So we can also say that there is a multimedia program package which is available from IGNOU. So the student can make use of this, and every student of postgraduate diploma in counseling, the student is placed under the supervision of a professionally qualified social worker for fieldwork supervision who is having a MA, that is Masters in Social Work, or MA in Social Work degree. So the student has to get their supervision only from a person who is professionally qualified and who is approved by the study center. And we can say the entire program of 1 year duration is devoted to specialization in counseling. So both theory as well as practicum focuses more on counseling and the skills required for the students which are necessary, they can practice in the field, and this is helped through the practicum component, fieldwork component. We can see the program structure. What are the program structure in postgraduate diploma in social work counseling program? We can say the postgraduate diploma in social work counseling program has two major components. Here there are theory courses as well as fieldwork. Theory courses is of 24 credits and the fieldwork is of 12 credits. So total credits for the program is 36. So this is the program structure of postgraduate diploma in social work counseling program. Now let us see the program details of this course. There are various courses you can see here. MSW 001, it deals with the origin and development of social work. That is, the learner is able to know the history and the origin in abroad as well as in the Western countries and in India. So all these aspects are covered in origin and development and social work. Then you can see other courses like MSW 12 that talks about the introduction to life characteristics and challenges. Here we can say the human growth and development, that is the lifespan of human being, is described from infancy to old age. Then the MSW 13 we can see introduction to psychological basis of counseling. This is necessary for our learners because counseling as a specialized course, they need to understand the basics of counseling, and they also should know learn about psychology and the basics of psychology so that they can deal with the clients where they can work in different settings to understand their behavior and other problems. Then there are also other courses like relevance of social casework counseling. This is an important course because this is one of the method in social work where the learner can practice this method, and for the fieldwork also he has to apply this method. We have the primary methods like social casework, social group work. So this is one of the method which is very much relevant to counseling. Then the other courses like MSW 15, basics of counseling. The learner will learn the basics, counseling, like how, why we have to do the counseling. So there are various techniques, models, approaches, theories. So all these will be dealt in this course. Then MSW 16, there are various fields of counseling. So in this paper, the learner will be able to learn in detail what are the fields of counseling. Like they can work in different settings like educational setting, industrial setting, and correctional setting. So there are different fields where the learner can learn. For this theory course will be really helpful to the learner. Then another course, MSW L011, this is called Social Work Practicum. This is the course where the student, whatever he has learned in the theory, he will put into practice. Then next we move on to the program requirements. The fee structure for this program is 15,000 for the PGDCOUN program, and the duration already, as we have seen, this minimum 1 year and maximum is 3 years for this program. And the eligibility criteria, any graduate from any discipline from a recognized university can enroll for this program, and this program is offered both in English as well as in Hindi. The Hindi medium is offered from July 2020. So these are the program requirements for postgraduate diploma in social work counseling program. Now let us look at the fieldwork components. What are the fieldwork components? As I rightly pointed out that fieldwork is the backbone of the postgraduate diploma in social work counseling program, because any learner who has joined for this program, he has to undergo the practicum component. The practicum component is mandatory for the student. So he has to go to the field, maybe attached to healthcare setting, or he can go to the open community, or the student can be attached to any institutions where he can practice whatever he has learned in the theory. So MSW L11, for this, the university has prepared separate fieldwork journal for practicum. This includes induction meeting, and there are also 5 orientation visits for this PGDCOUN program, and the learner has to go to the field, that is, he has to do 45 days of concurrent field visits. Here he has to write detailed report of the field work, and also he has expected to do minimum 10 casework with details of casework components. And there are also another important thing which the learner has to do is individual conference. This has to happen with the fieldwork supervisor, which is very important. So we will look into all these aspects one by one. Now, as already we saw, individual conference is mandatory because the student has to go to the fieldwork supervisor and discuss various concerns and problems. Same way, there is also group conference. So the group conference, the student need not if a student takes admission in a particular study center, maybe 1 or 2 student takes enrollment in that study center. So in that case, group conference is not necessary. So group conference will be held wherever they have more students. So wherever it is feasible. So this group conference will help the students to know their peer group, understand different NGOs and where they are doing their field work, and they'll come to know what are the other concerns, problems the NGOs are dealing with. So the student will get an idea of all the different social problems and the NGOs where they are helping for the issues. Then the fieldwork supervisor, who is provided by the study center, already I mentioned about this, he should be an MSW or MA in social work. And certain things the student should know after getting the fieldwork journal, like after receiving the journal, the student should fill the face sheet of the student and the fieldwork supervisor. For example, the student has to fill the name, the place where he has visited, the agency's name, and his contact address, email. So these things are missing in the journal. So this is mandatory that the face sheet of the student and as well as the fieldwork supervisor should be filled. Because at times we see that the journals are incomplete. It should be complete, then only we will accept the journal. Without that, the School of Social Work is not going to accept the fieldwork journals. Then there is also another sheet in the journal that is called the pre-test assessment form. And at the towards the end of the journal, they also have post-assessment form. So the learner is expected to fill both the forms, the pre-test assessment form as well as the post-test assessment form. And also the self-evaluation report. That is also a very, very important for a learner. Why? Because the learner has to evaluate himself or herself and how he has utilized his skills, knowledge and attitude. So all this we can know when he goes to the field and applies his skills, and he is learning through that entire 45 days what he has learned from the field. So all that he has to write in as a self-evaluation report. Then the summary report of the postgraduate diploma in social work counseling program. Here again the fieldwork supervisor should sign everywhere, because the summary report shows how many days he has gone to the field, what are the activities he has done in the field. So these are very important for the evaluator. So that page has to be filled by the learner. Then the supervisor should also give global comments and the agency certificate. This is also very important for any learner, because wherever whichever organization the learner is going, so he has to take the certificate for the number of days he has worked in that particular NGO or any social welfare organization or any projects. So this is also mandatory for them. Then moving on to the next important thing is induction meeting. What is induction meeting? Again, the academic counselor, the fieldwork supervisor, he will organize an induction meeting for the first year PGDCOUN student in preparation of fieldwork. So the student should not miss the induction meeting. If the student is going to miss, then he is at a loss and he will not know further any information, what is going on, how to go about with the field work, what to do about the practicum. So he will have a lot of chaos and confusion. So induction meeting is very important. During this meeting, the fieldwork supervisor, he will give necessary guidance with regard to the purpose of the fieldwork, what are the expectations from the fieldwork, and what are the responsibility of the students and the teaching learning process. And also the fieldwork supervisor will guide how to write the fieldwork journal and the importance of individual and group conference. So everything is discussed in detail and they will be oriented towards induction meeting. And the supervisor also give details of the first orientation visit, the time, place, and so on. So all the information is provided in the induction meeting. That is why we say that induction meeting is very important. Every learner who has taken admission for the PGDCOUN program should attend the induction meeting, which is organized by the regional center, and usually it happens in the study center or sometimes at the regional center. So the learners should attend the induction meeting. And what happens after this? In the induction, after finishing their induction meeting, they are expected to write a report about the induction meeting. So the report will consist of guidance given by the fieldwork supervisor with subtitles of each component. So the learner is expected to prepare a draft, do the corrections, and then copy it in the journal. Because initially the learner may have many problems, like how to go about writing the reports. So he has a lot of problems in writing the reports. This is what we have observed from many of our learners. So better if they have a rough note or a diary with them. So wherever they go, whenever they go to the field, they take this diary or notebook so that they can note down the points, and then later on they can copy it in the fieldwork journal. Then they can show to their fieldwork supervisor and make the necessary corrections. So once the rough draft is done, then they can fare it. In that way, it will help them so that they can remember all the points, note it down, then they can fare it in the journal. So always the learner should remember to write the journal in their own handwriting. And like sometimes we see in the journal like 2-3 different handwritings are there, and sometimes they type and send it. So typing is not allowed. They cannot take printout or send their reports like that. So it has to be handwritten by the learner. Then only the reports are accepted. Because some students, what they do, they take the printout from EMPC-IGNOU and they also type and submit it. So that is not accepted in the school. So it should be written by them. Then after the induction meeting, there is orientation visits. What is orientation visits? Again, the learner, they are expected to visit 5 agencies or projects. So 5 different agencies they have to visit, so that they can have exposure to various social welfare programs. Then after this, they are asked to write the reports. They also have concurrent fieldwork practicum reports, and this has to be written after every visit. So we also have given a pro forma how to write the orientation visits and also how to write their concurrent field visits. So depending on their activities, whatever their activities they are expected to do in the field work, they should note it down and later on they can fare it in the journal. So there are spaces like 2 to 3 pages we have given in the journal or so accordingly, depending on their report, length of the report, they can make use of the space in the journal. So it is always desirable that the student has to prepare a draft and then he can fare it or copy it in the fieldwork journal. So this will help them. Then the learner should always remember that, as I already mentioned, that they should write in their own handwriting and they should not type the report. If the student has any other information or report, for example, 45 days we are saying is mandatory. If the student is doing 50 days, more than 45 days, and if there are only less number of pages, then the student can attach few more pages and write their reports and submit it with proper, like they can staple it and neatly they can wrap it and submit it along with the journal, or the student can attach it in the journal. And we have also given some guidelines, so they can refer to the guidelines how to write the agency profile. So then the fieldwork journal, they can go through that and they can write their detailed report in the fieldwork journal. So this is how they are going to write their fieldwork reports. Then next, moving on to the concurrent fieldwork. What is concurrent fieldwork? Again, postgraduate diploma in social work counseling, we ask them to do 45 days of concurrent field visits where they will be going to one organization or institute or any social welfare organization. Here the learner will be placed in a development project so that the student can learn or gain experience by performing various activities in discussion with the fieldwork supervisor. So here again the learners, they are expected to gain 45 days of experience in the project or any agency. So again these visits in social work terminology we call as concurrent visits. The learner is expected to read the problem for report on concurrent fieldwork before writing the reports. First, as I already mentioned, the learner has to make a draft report so that it is very important, like points are not missed in the report. Then the concurrent fieldwork practicum reports, these are to be written after every visit, because sometimes he goes 1 week and he forgets many things, he misses many information. So then and there, if he notes it down, then same day if he is copying it or writing in the journal, it is very easy for the learner. So depending on the activities, the learner can use the space for each visit. For some visits, the learner may require more space, while for some other, they may require less pages. So accordingly, the learner can write the reports. And it is also desirable that the learner should prepare a draft, correct it, and then copy the same in the journal. The learner has to write the report in the journal in their own handwriting, and they should not type the report, as already I have mentioned. And the learner has to follow the instructions which are given in the fieldwork journal for report writing. So learners, please read the instructions thoroughly, whatever has given in the fieldwork journal. And the main purpose of the placement in an agency is mainly to carry out social casework method and counseling. So they need that kind of exposure in the field where they can improve and enhance their counseling skills. So they can choose that kind of organizations or institutions where they can do their field work. Then we talk about individual conference, we talked about group conference, and the assessment and evaluation. Again, for theory courses, there is continuous assessment. To tutor marked assignments, there is one assignment and for each course, and the weightage is 30%, and term and examination, the weightage is 70%. For social work practicum, the fieldwork journal, the evaluation by internal is 50% and external is 50%. So practicum component is very important and mandatory for the student. Who can benefit from this program? Healthcare providers, teachers, NGO functionaries, religious leaders, service providers in social and welfare agencies, and the persons who are working in corporate sector. All these can benefit by doing this program. When we look at what are the career opportunities, the PGDCOUN, this program really prepares a cadre of dedicated and qualified professionals to work in the field of counseling. So they are trained in mobilizing resources, manage welfare agencies, and who are working in NGOs. They are also involved in policy formulation, undertake research, take up training programs, and so on. So other job opportunities, we can say they can work in central and state governments and NGOs, social and welfare agencies, schools, hospitals, mental health settings, women and children services, counseling centers, research organizations, donor agencies, charitable trust, corporate houses, and institutional setup. So these are the areas where they get more opportunity. The PGDCOUN aims at NGO functionaries and also counselors who are also from other disciplines. So learners, I hope this PGDCOUN program will be really beneficial to our learners, and this session fieldwork, it is very important. I hope learners would have benefited listening to this session. Thank you so much.
We wear clothes on a daily basis. But have we ever wondered, where do our clothes come from? Who makes our clothing? And who are the people and the process responsible for the whole manufacturing of our clothing? If you want to know more about this, Indira Gandhi National Open University from the School of Continuing Education has launched a program which is Certificate in Apparel Merchandising. There are many benefits after doing this program. You can become a designer in various